Imagine this. You're sitting in a classroom and your teacher drops a bombshell. Christopher Columbus, she says, didn't actually discover America. He thought he had found the edge of Asia, and the place he called the Terrestrial Paradise was most likely just Venezuela. You're stunned. How could this be? You've grown up learning that Columbus was a brave explorer who found a new world. But what if everything you knew was wrong? Let's dive into the real story of Columbus and the early European explorers, and how they struggled to understand the vast, unfamiliar lands they encountered. Christopher Columbus, the man celebrated every year on Columbus Day, set sail in 1492 with the goal of finding a direct sea route to Asia. He was convinced that the world was much smaller than it is, and that by sailing west, he could reach the riches of China and India. Instead, he landed on the shores of the Bahamas, which he believed to be the eastern edge of Asia. This misunderstanding set the stage for a series of explorations that would challenge everything he and his contemporaries knew about the world. Columbus made 4 voyages across the Atlantic, each time convinced that he was closer to his goal. On his 3rd voyage in 1498, he reached the coast of South America, specifically the area that is now Venezuela. Here, he encountered something that puzzled him greatly: a vast source of fresh water, the Orinoco River, which flowed into the Gulf of Paria. This was so unusual that Columbus began to wonder if he had found the Garden of Eden, the legendary terrestrial paradise described in the Bible. To understand why Columbus thought this, we need to look at the world as it was understood in the 15th century. The prevailing belief was that the Earth was a single, continuous landmass surrounded by a relatively small amount of water. The known world included Europe, Asia, and Africa, and it was believed that no habitable land existed below the equator. Columbus' discovery of a vast landmass and a massive river system didn't fit into this worldview. Instead of admitting that he had found a new continent, he tried to fit it into his existing beliefs. He reasoned that this must be the legendary terrestrial paradise, a place so special that only those with God's permission could enter. Columbus wasn't the only one struggling to understand the new lands. Amerigo Vespucci, an Italian explorer and cartographer, also played a crucial role in shaping our understanding of the New World. And like Columbus, Vespucci was more willing to question traditional beliefs. He joined an expedition in 1499 and explored the coast of South America, traveling much farther south than Columbus had. Vespucci's observations led him to a groundbreaking conclusion. The lands Columbus had discovered were not part of Asia, but a new continent entirely. Vespucci's reports were widely read and discussed in Europe. In 1507, a German cartographer named Martin Waldseemüller created a map of the world, which included a large landmass in the Western Hemisphere. Waldseemüller named this land America, in honor of Amerigo Vespucci, believing that Vespucci was the first to recognize it as a new continent. This map was a turning point in European understanding of the world, but it also created a naming controversy that continues to this day. Ralph Waldo Emerson, a famous American philosopher, once said, "Amerigo Vespucci, the pickle dealer at Seville, managed in this lying world to supplant Columbus and baptize half of the earth with his own dishonest name." This statement is not entirely accurate. Vespucci was not a liar, and he did not intentionally try to take credit from Columbus. He was simply a curious and observant man who made important contributions to geography and exploration. The naming of the continent as America was a decision made by others, and it was a way to honor Vespucci's insights and contributions. Despite the naming controversy, Vespucci's work was crucial in helping Europeans understand the true nature of the New World. He provided detailed descriptions of the lands and peoples he encountered, and his observations were more accurate and detailed than those of Columbus. Vespucci also made significant contributions to navigation and cartography, including methods for determining longitude, which were crucial for future explorations. The European encounter with the New World was a transformative event in history. It led to the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures between the Old and New Worlds, but it also had devastating consequences for the indigenous peoples of the Americas. The arrival of Europeans brought diseases like smallpox, which decimated native populations, and the exploitation of resources and labor led to the colonization and oppression of many indigenous communities. In the end, Columbus and Vespucci were both driven by a desire to explore and understand the world around them. Columbus' determination and Vespucci's curiosity helped shape our modern understanding of the Earth. While Columbus is celebrated for his voyages, it's important to recognize the contributions of other explorers like Vespucci, who played a crucial role in uncovering the true nature of the New World. So, the next time you hear about Columbus, remember that the story is more complex than you might have thought. He didn't discover America in the way we often imagine, but his voyages and the subsequent explorations of others like Vespucci opened up a new chapter in human history. The world is a vast and mysterious place, and the more we explore, the more we learn about ourselves and the world we live in.